Welcome to Tiff Talk Podcast. This is Tiffany Marie Davis. I am your host. I am very excited to share with you guys who we have on today's episode. I'm just going to start it out with a bang. I have Miss Arianny Celeste here. I'm so excited for you guys to really get to know Miss Arianny. You guys may know her as the UFC mama. She is just amazing, but I want to tell you a little bit about Arianny. Arianny is a self-made young Latina entrepreneur, internationally recognized model, established singer. Hey, I love that. Maybe we'll have her sing a little bit here. And popular television personality. She's an exotic beauty, fluent in Spanish, and passionate about fitness, health, beauty, and fashion. She is one of the most sought out after talents in the modeling world. She's also featured in Maxim and Sports Illustrated. Celeste has worked with global brands such as Bebe, Fashion Nova, Guess, and Urban Decay, along with other top names in the fashion and fitness industry. The really special part about Arianny is she was born and raised in Las Vegas, where we currently reside. Celeste began modeling at just 4 months old, and obviously she's absolutely beautiful. She's also excelling in a variety of sports. Her early experiences with cheer, dance, and gymnastics ignited a lifelong passion for fitness and health. After that, she actually earned her degree in fitness management and nutrition from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Celeste made her television debut as an octagon girl, becoming one of the most consistent UFC personalities on television and traveling the world as a spokesperson for the brand. With a natural talent for audience engagement, she went on to host popular shows such as UFC Ultimate Insider, Velocity's Overhaulin, and MTV's Guy Code, all while building her own unique brand. She's also the founder of a subscription gifting service actually named Girlfriend Box, originating out of Celeste's personal experience, helping male fans figure out just what to gift their significant others. The Girlfriend Box takes the guesswork and stress out of special occasions. I am so excited to bring on Miss Arianny. I could keep going, you guys. That bio is incredible. Arianny, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So with that being said, I want to kind of dig into your story. I really want people to know Arianny because yes, you're very accomplished. My goodness, I'm so just honored to have you not only here, but also as a friend here in Las Vegas. But I'm really excited to hear about who is Arianny. How I want to dig into your story because what I do know is we get to inspire the masses with our stories because we as entrepreneurs it's not an easy career, that's for sure. But I will tell you, the strongest of strong will go through the ups and downs and cartwheels of entrepreneurship. So I really want you to tell people how you really began your story and take it back to your childhood.
Okay, so my childhood, I was born and raised in Vegas. Basically, it was me and my mom for the first 3 years, kind of just me and my mom by ourselves, because my father passed away when she was pregnant with me. So I was kind of born into, I guess, a lot of sadness, depression. My mom was really sad all the time because she lost my dad, and I feel like that seeing my mom sad and kind of depressed all the time kind of made me feel like, okay, I'm going to try my best to not be that way. Not that she's an amazing mom, but I just didn't want to be in that headspace anymore. So, I mean, it took me a long time to get where I am in my career and mentally. I've done a lot of spiritual work. I've done a lot of therapy just to become a more, I think, strong woman. Instead of because you can put yourself in the victim category when something like that happens. When I was really angry as like a teenager and a young child because I didn't have a dad. My stepfather, he stepped in when I was around 3, so he raised me. He's the only dad I have. I love him to death, and he's amazing. But you always like wonder if my dad was around, or so I was very angry. Those are things I had to deal with. But as far as work goes, she was amazing. She's amazing. Um, she had a 9 to 5 job, and she also went to nursing school. She wanted to become a nurse. Then she became pregnant with my sister. So I have 2 sisters, half sisters, and she kind of slowed down and she put her career on hold. So that's another thing. Like, I love my mom to death, but I think times have changed now, and it just goes to show, like, you can be a mom, you can work. But I love her. She's the best mom. She took so much amazing care of me and my sisters, and she still does. Like, especially now that I have my own baby, she's like the best babysitter. So that's kind of like my background. Born and raised in Vegas. I went to UNLV. I started modeling really young, and I got the call for UFC when I was 21. And I was like, hell yeah, I need money. I'm paying for my own college. So I started working really young. I was teaching gymnastics, and I was working the front desk at a gym. And so I finally was able to move on from that whole thing and start with UFC, which was really amazing. Changed my life. Started traveling. I remember our first out of town show was Anaheim. And for me to be traveling for work in Anaheim, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. But from then on, it was like a year later, I was traveling to England, Brazil, Ireland, Australia. I mean, everywhere, Japan, Korea. I went everywhere with them for a solid, I want to say 8-9 years, before they started like hiring girls in the other regions. So like, for instance, the girls in Brazil, there's like 2 or 3. I won't go to Brazil anymore, but at least I got to experience that, a couple of years ago, and I'm happy. But it's a long way to be traveling back and forth. And my whole life was UFC. So I moved to LA about 10 years ago to pursue acting and hosting, and UFC just kind of took over my life. So I was gone every weekend. And again, this was the best thing ever because I wanted to travel, and I never even thought that I would get out of Vegas. So be traveling like this, it was a dream come true. But I slowed down a little bit, and I was able to take an audition after 5 years of auditioning. And my agent in LA was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of you. You're never here. You're never able to go audition. So, this is the last audition we're sending you on. And if you don't get it, then we're just going to part ways. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the audition. It was for Overhaulin. And that was my first TV gig that I booked after 5 years of like just being on hold forever. But I worked my way up from that. I did online teleprompter TV shows for UFC. And that was crazy because I would go to the weigh-ins. I would wait for like, I don't know, some touch-ups or maybe like an hour, and I'd have a snack. And then till like midnight or 1 o'clock, till whenever I was done, I would recap the fights that happened that weekend. And that was my whole weekend. I was like very focused on getting comfortable in front of the camera. And this was before I booked Overhaulin. So that was my whole television story, which I'm super proud of, and I'm happy that I got to do that. It was really fun working with cars. I had no idea anything about cars. I don't have brothers or anything, so I was just kind of thrown in. So that was kind of cool. As far as my business, I started my business about 3 years ago. It's called Girlfriend Box. I brought the box. I'm wearing jewels. So basically, it's a gift box that you can give to yourself, your wife, your girlfriend. You can pre-schedule it. There's one for 1 month. There's one every month, or you can do it 5 times a year. The 5 times a year, you can put in your anniversary, her birthday, Valentine's Day, whatever dates that you feel are important, and just schedule it, and it comes.
That's genius. I have to tell my husband about this because he needs all the help. That's so stressful for guys, though. It really is. Like, that's one thing that, I mean, there's guys that are great at gifts, and then there's guys that definitely need the help. So that's a genius idea. So I just had to chime in for that.
Thank you.
Great job.
So, I mean, it was geared towards men. We have a lot of females that buy it for themselves now too. It's kind of like 50-50. So it's kind of cool to be selling to girls and making them happy in that way.
Yeah.
I did have a partner when I first started that didn't work out. We started out as friends and didn't have any paperwork or anything. So one thing I will say is, even if you're friends and you're starting a business, make sure you have paperwork, make sure that something is written and you kind of hash that out, because if things don't work out, things can get really ugly. We're not friends anymore. So, you know, things happen. So I have a great new partner now. We redid the whole logo and the website and everything else, and, you know, just kind of started fresh. So that's the only thing with business is you have to kind of take it step by step, get the LLC, get the website, make sure you do your logo that you're going to be able to live with for a long time and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I love this, Arianny. As you can tell, you guys, she's absolutely worked her way up her entire life. I want to take it back just a little bit because, you know, hearing where you were, and a lot of my listeners, they've listened to my story. We relate a lot, and I'm sure we can get a little bit deeper, because I think what people get to understand is, like, you were not handed everything. It sounds like, you know, opportunity after opportunity, but I'm sure that things had definitely tried to knock you down, because that's what happens. You know, I always say that failure and success are on the same street in a court. You know, if you're living in a court, failure and success are on the same street. And also disappointment, anger, all of that comes with some sort of failure. So I want to take it back, because you said something that hit my heart, and it hit my heart because you had said that you had gone through, you know, a few years with your mom of anger, of, you know, where is my dad? Like, he just gave up. Like, what just happened? Like, what, do I even get to meet him? So during that time of your life, you said that you were angry. Where would you say that showed up for you? Like, at what point in your life did that show up for you?
I think it showed up in relationships with, you know, the guys that I would be in relationships with, because I didn't have my father. My father passed away, so he didn't choose to be gone. He just he passed away, and but I was kind of angry at the world. I was angry at the world. I was angry at God. Why would he do this to me? Me of all people. Why would he do that to my dad? I never trusted guys, and I always thought they were going to leave. And the guys that I did end up dating were kind of crazy and abusive. And for some reason, I let that happen for a while until, like, one day I just snapped and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I gotta work on myself and my inside, because there's a reason why I keep letting this happen to me. So I had to do the work.
What kind of work did you do? Because I know a lot of people could use some advice for if they're in that situation, or if they haven't had the right type of circle of positivity. What are tangible things that people can do, or what did you do that specifically helped?
I went ahead and talked with therapists for a really long time. I did hypnotherapy. I started meditating, which I know it sounds cliche, but it really does make you're like, it's something in your head clicks, and it also, like, kind of makes you be grateful, like, for what you have, and it just makes you more aware. So I also did ayahuasca, which really, like, was like a crazy trip, and I think it was the best experience of my life, and that really was the turning point of my life. It made me see that this, you know, this vessel that you're given is so special and so amazingly important to take care of, because you were given it. It was a gift. So it kind of, like, changed my life. You know, like drinking.
Yeah.
I would drink a ton, and we all go through those phases, especially when you're younger, where you're just, like, getting trashed. But ayahuasca kind of made me see, like, that all the toxic things that I was doing to my body and all the toxic people that were in my life, and it was able to just kind of slap me and, like, like a band-aid, just pull it off real quick
Yeah.
and be like, no more. So now I have, I love my wine. I will have a few glasses of wine, but I never have that feeling of this like disgustingness like the next day and like just feeling like crap. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy
Yeah.
about
And then
that.
when we get older, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Things hurt. Things hurt. And you're like, what? I had 2 drinks. What just happened?
Exactly.
So you said something like that just gave me chills. Okay. Cause ayahuasca, let me just tell you, I've never done it. But they always say I've done probably 4 episodes now with my co-host Ferris. And we did a 2-part with Michael O'Shea, 2-part episode with ayahuasca. He actually makes the medicine, and he was, digging deep into it. And we just got deeper and deeper. And he was like, your time will come when ayahuasca. And I kid you not, Stitch Duran, we did an episode with him too.
Oh,
He
yeah.
told us all about his ayahuasca experience, and I'm like, you did it too. So it's really amazing to hear, because I asked him, I said, what is your biggest fear? We did a rogue at the end, and he said, I don't have any. I said, what? And that's when he shared his ayahuasca experience.
Yeah.
So I almost feel as if that I'm being called, because I'm in that space where, people like you, for example, we have a very similar story that helped you a lot.
It was very, very healing. I think of all the therapy, it beats all the therapy I've done in my life. It was eye-opening. It was a beautiful and painful experience. I saw and felt all this love around me. I saw and felt all this love for myself, for my body, for my mind. Yeah, it was incredible.
I love that. And I laughed when you said meditation, because I do that day in and day out. But when I miss a day or two, I totally feel when I miss, and it's not cliche, but you totally feel when you're out of alignment with your own personal growth. And I can only do 5 minutes because my brain like wanders everywhere, So do you do like little mini meditations, or do you do longer?
Yeah, I think the most I can do is 15 minutes, but sometimes I do different ones. Like there's vibrational frequencies that you can play that are very like very calming, and they kind of help you space out, but not to the point where you're not paying attention. So I do that, and I also do the guided meditation. I'm working on trying to do just regular meditation, but it's really hard. So I do like the guided meditation. I have so many different apps and stuff that can help you. So
I love it. That's what you did to help heal. So everyone has a different journey. I love that you used, your tools, your outlets, and then also ayahuasca. Not everybody can do that. So those simple, tangible things like meditation, seek out therapy, really do the work, because it all starts with you. And if it's up to be, it's up to me, right? So it always starts with you. So you can start attracting those right type of people into your life, and the right, circle. And so fast forwarding to when you got the call from UFC, like that just didn't fall on your lap, right? Did you audition for that, or how was that process?
yeah, so I auditioned for UFC back in 2006, and I'm still here. I did my first event last month after being away for almost 11 months to have my baby and all that. And then it was in the middle of a pandemic too. So it was kind of perfect that I was away, because nobody else could work either. So I was like, yes, the world stopped for me. So it's kind of cool. One thing I wanted to add, if people are weird about therapy, or like, I know it can be kind of intimidating talking to someone else about, your issues or whatever. I think writing down and journaling as well is something that you can do that's completely free, that's completely judge free. Even though I don't think therapists would judge you. I think you can kind of write down things that are going on, whether they're good or bad, and kind of dissect things like, why am I feeling this way? What happened to make me feel this way? How can I overcome this? Because when it comes to stuff like that, depression, sadness, all that, it will always pass. And
Right.
it's easier to kind of like know why it's happening and accept it. Like, okay, I'm sad because of this and I know why, but it's going to pass. So I think journaling too kind of helps.
I love that. Yes, that's definitely another must. I always say that, be careful what you speak into existence because that can become your reality. So journaling and setting that intention is really, really special. Now going into the girlfriend box, that was really powerful that I'm not sure if anybody really got that nugget. So you guys, she had built a career and so she's, on the up and she's now wanting to put her name behind something. And that's special because like she said, starting a business is not easy, but it's also so worth it. So doing those little, tasks of LLCs, picking out the name, having a partner, but you did say something that a lot of people do need to hear, which is to do your due diligence and have everything on paper. It doesn't even matter if you've been friends with someone for 30 years, 5 minutes, it's everything needs to be on paper. But I want you to talk about that a little bit because we've all been through it. This is about, what Arianny has done because I could go on and on for days, but I want you to share with people that experience because that could either make or break you and how you're like basically able to overcome that because you could have been like, screw it, I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to move forward with this and just give up. So what was your driving force behind that? How did you clean up everything and how did you get super clear moving forward that you were still, going to stay in the game and not give up?
Girlfriend Box is my baby. I started it from day one. It happened because I was cleaning out my closet and guys were like, hey, my girlfriend would love that. Can you put 2 of those dresses in a box and send it to me? It started out as fashion items. So this started and it felt like I was helping people, helping guys to figure out what they want for their girlfriends. So that kind of knowing that I started this whole thing and it was like my baby from the start kind of made me feel like, okay, I don't want to start over completely, but I cannot work with this person anymore. And we talked about it. She kind of said she didn't want to do it anymore. We figured it out. We signed some papers saying, hey, you're no longer part of the company, and we went about our ways. It could have been a lot worse than that. But she, again, was my friend at the time. Yeah, and there was no money involved. There was more, I think, debt than anything.
Right.
Was put on me. So it was like, okay, now I have this debt. What am I going to do? I talked to my new partner now, which she's amazing. She's a manufacturer and distributor of jewelry. So she has her way to shine. She's done jewelry for 25 years. She has her own warehouse. She has her distribution. She has the manpower and everything that I didn't have. She has the people to do the website and to fulfill orders and blah, blah, blah. So I can focus on what I'm good at, the marketing, the modeling, the getting ambassadors, the social media. So I think when it comes to business, especially when it's your baby, you want to do it all. You want to do this. I was packing boxes, going to the post office, putting them, sending them off. But I shouldn't do that because my focus should be on social media and marketing and what I'm good at. So I think when you have your baby, just realize that you can't do it all, and it's okay to get help in other fields, so that you can make this an actual success. Because I can have 100% of something that is nothing, or I can give away part of my company and have a part of something big. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that one day it'll be the next Fab Fit Fun or Stitch Fix or whatever that is. So we're working hard to get it there.
It will be there. So I love that you said that. You did all of the small things that are going to lead to the bigger things. And yes, it's tedious, but again, when it's your baby, you're going to do whatever it takes for that baby. And speaking of babies, my goodness, you have the cutest little boy, Raiden. He is a doll. I do remember, I think Instagram had popped up and all of a sudden you were pregnant.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I loved that because she's so beautiful and she's so petite. And I just loved your journey while you were pregnant because you shared with everybody. Let's talk about that a little bit. Motherhood.
Thank you. Motherhood is a trip.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the first month was really rough. I got no sleep, but we're almost 4 months in, and we're getting sleep. We're getting the hang of it. He's talking, well, trying to talk and almost laughing, and it's a beautiful experience. I always wanted to be a mom, so it's just a really special time in my life, and I'm actually so thankful. And I know that I don't know if this sounds insensitive, but I'm thankful that this whole pandemic thing happened because I'm able to stay home and I'm able to slow down and I'm able to like enjoy my time with my son. And I don't know how it would have been like had I been like go go go. But now I can really just enjoy being home and spending time with him.
Yeah, that was very powerful. I think that, a lot of the times people are looking at our current situation. Yeah, it sucks. And let's be honest, there's a lot of things that suck about it, but there's a lot of beautiful moments that come with it, with, being able to slow down a little bit, because sometimes our lives can be so fast, especially you're traveling all over the world and, UFC events left and right. And now you get to be home with this beautiful baby. So everything happens for a reason. And, you found an amazing man from what I see on social media, that you've attracted after doing all of this work that you've done with yourself personally. And now you're in this space where you're just gift after gift after gift. So, at home wise, I love watching your stories. I do remember a video, I think it was with your mom, where you had told her you were pregnant and the first word out of her mouth was finally.
Yeah. She wanted a grandbaby. She would have had a grandbaby a while ago if she could have it. But I think I did things my way. Some women do it when they're younger. So I traveled the world. I've had my career. I've had so much fun. So I think it was a perfect time for me. So.
No, and I love that, because just looking at where you're at, it's also opening up a whole nother side of you. And that's something that I think is super special, because now you're able to relate to more women, especially with having a baby and a career and, a business that you're super focused on. But moving forward, are you still going to do UFC? And other than the girlfriend box, what is your plan?
My ultimate plan, I think, would just be a businesswoman, whether that's in my own business or real estate. I love real estate. I don't know. I just always want to be my own boss. That's for sure. I started a product for moms that I'm hoping to launch within the next couple months. So I'm working on that.
I remember when we went to coffee, we were talking about it and I was like, that is genius. Yes. You guys, I'm already opening it up now. Just get ready. It's what every mother needs.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you. I'm just always working on my business, and hopefully one of those takes off at some point.
It will, for sure. So, and then I want to talk about Raiden a little bit, because you're in a place in your life where, yes, you're able to slow down, but things are going to pick back up. I know that they will. That's just how it works. How have things changed since having, little baby man around you? And that, as far as business wise, has it been challenging for you? Has it been actually not as bad as you thought? Because I know there's a lot of women that do get scared to have children, especially when they're on cloud, 1200 with their businesses, and you can't even fathom the thought of having a baby there with you. But I want you to share your experience, because yes, you are busy. You're a model, you're a boss babe. I adore you. And I just want you to share with everybody what has changed for you, or if anything has changed, or has it been pleasant, surprisingly pleasant?
I think that the only changes and worries and scares were because of me. It was all like in my head. I'm like, oh man, I'm going from like the babe business to like baby business. And how are people gonna see me, and what are people gonna think, and are people gonna still think I'm sexy and whatever. But honestly, being pregnant, it was the best thing. I loved it. And it actually made me feel even more sexy, and seeing like how the women's body can just be, it's like, it's an incredible thing to see a woman's body go from a little basketball to back to kind of where I am. And I'm still working on it. But yeah, becoming a mom is amazing. But at the same time, I don't think, especially on Instagram, you just see, oh my God, I just had a baby and life is beautiful. And it was hard. The first month, I was getting no sleep. I had a little bit of the postpartum depression because, I think it's a mixture of like the meds that were in my body, because I wasn't expecting to have to take meds. I was trying to do like more natural.
Yeah.
But they took me in for an emergency C-section. They pumped me with all the medication for that. And then I ended up being taken back to my room, and I was able to have the birth that I wanted, which was vaginal, and it was all good. But I didn't expect to have all those medications, and I felt really crappy. Like I felt the medication in my body then, the couple weeks after. So I think that, in a combination of not having sleep and not being just me, you kind of feel like you're not you. So I had a little bit of that depression. And then I think just becoming more active and kind of feeling physically better is when everything kind of like changed. I was able to go for walks. And then, after 6 weeks, I was able to start my workouts. And I think that helps everything, especially when you're go and you're always working out. I just love working out. So, and I'm amazed by the women's body, the way it could, go out to a little like basketball and then go back to kind of where you were before. I'm still working on my body. I think I have a lot of loose skin, but I'm thankful for the experience. I know that nobody's perfect, especially after they have a child. So I'm trying really hard to have grace with this whole thing and not be super hard on myself, because I am a bit of a perfectionist. And especially when you're like used to being like in a bikini for a living. So you're like, I really got to get my stuff together. So that's the whole thing. The transition, I guess, having Raiden is the biggest blessing. But mentally it did take a toll on me for a little bit. I'm feeling a lot better now. We're 4 months in now, and in a few days, and things are getting more normal. It's like, okay, I can go for a coffee with my girlfriend, or I can have this talk with you. Kind of like me and my partner are figuring out a schedule that works for both of us, and it's just about that.
Yeah. That definitely makes a world of difference, right? Having that support system and being able to, take that time for yourself, because what I hear you saying is self-care is everything. And self-care doesn't have to just be like facials and like all the fluffy stuff. It's literally just going to the gym or going for a walk and getting your happy endorphins going. So I love that. Well, Arianny, I'm so proud of you. I know that you've chosen so many pivots in your life. You overcame and conquered versus, gave up and decided to stay in, situations of your life that didn't serve you. So you got very clear every step of the way. And I really love that every step that you've chose, and we just did an episode on choices, that every area of your life you did get to have that choice and you got to pivot. But I do want to ask you just three questions. We're going to go a little rogue here. 3 questions that, I think would be inspiring for people to hear. So, 1, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear, I think because of the way I was raised, not having my partner or being alone, I think is a big one for me. Losing my partner, I always have that fear. I'm like, he's going to the grocery store, it's going to be okay. Stuff like that. I think those two are the biggest fears I have.
Because you get to be super in tune, with those feelings and emotions. So next question. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
See myself 5 years from now probably starting another business. I really want to get these two businesses this year off, and hopefully they can kind of run themselves. But maybe even like having a actual store now that I'm in my hometown. I'm really into home decor and real estate and all that, so maybe it would be some sort of home goods store, but like very cool eclectic pieces that you wouldn't find everywhere else, and maybe hopefully like sustainable local artistry or stuff like that I really love. I love to support small businesses and stuff, and artists everywhere you go, like you see really cool pieces that you bring. It's almost like you bring home a part of wherever you visit. So like Bali, stuff from Bali or stuff from Mexico. So I think that would be really cool. That's another idea I have since I love home decor.
I love that. Bali was probably definitely my favorite place to go. Such a bummer when COVID hit, so we weren't able to go back this year, but I love that you said Bali. That's a really good idea. What is the one thing that nobody knows about you? Could be weird too.
I'm actually kind of a big goofball. I can't really put it into words, but I think I'm the funniest person. So I will try to make people laugh, and usually they don't laugh, but I end up laughing anyway. I like make myself laugh all the time. So I'm really goofy. So I don't have it all put together like this all the time. So I think that's one of the biggest ones that I would say. I'm a goofball.
I love that. You guys, I'm so excited to wrap this episode up with Miss Arianny Celeste. I know that there's so much more coming. I know that this woman is unstoppable. She's determined. She's fearless. She's ready to go get it. And I am so excited to have you on again. And we'll circle back and see where you're at and just, follow your journey. It's just been an honor to have you on, and I appreciate your time today. Yep, and this is Tiffany Davis at Tiff Talks. We will see you guys soon.